Hello and welcome to... Oh, gotta turn this music off. There we go. Hello and welcome to Swapping Joysticks, the greatest place for video game introspection. Is that the right word?
Introspection?
I
Is
don't
that
know.
what we're going with?
We will. Why not? But welcome, yeah. Hopefully, I hope everybody can hear us this time. I've managed to fiddle with some knobs, and then I was also adjusting the compressor, and hopefully it sounds better. I mean, it is a word. I don't know if it's the right word. But yeah, welcome. I'm Ben Ostwick, otherwise known as Big S Bennis on the old Twitch, and the soon-to-be unverified on Twitter, Ed Nightingale. What's going on with the hair? Ed did this hair today. Okay, fine. See, people can't tolerate this hair like that. Apparently, it was awful. It was disgusting. Said Money. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not official, and I'm not paying for a blue tick, so I guess that's going at some point.
Yeah. Well, I did see that, like, a member of Parliament, Chris Bryant, he got his verified thing. Is it verified or what's it called? Is it verified?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, verified thing, and then they took it away. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, it's. I don't know what is going on there or how people are getting that. It's just like,
yeah, it's ridiculous, and I'm not paying. I absolutely refuse to pay. It doesn't mean that much to me.
No.
No.
Would you not like? But you know, you are famous on the old Twitter.
I don't think so.
You are.
I don't think.
Yeah, Ed_Nights. You don't have a number one at the end of it.
I don't think.
You are. But anyway, yeah, let us know how the sound is as well, because we are testing out a one mic setup this time, but with added boost. So hopefully if it sounds good.
Gemma, how dare you suggest exuberant activities pre-podcast?
We did have a shower together to save on water, but there was no... It's in and out. I mean, oh no. In the shower and out the shower. Yeah. But, well, it was... What?
Oh, God.
It's like being up in Yorkshire where you have to share baths together. There's none of that. Oh, he's gone purple now. Also, no, Ed's still... I think Ed is still coming down from the terrifying activity that happened before. So I got...
Right, also it's this lighting. I don't know what you've done with this lighting. I'm blaming that.
Nothing with the lighting.
You've definitely made the lighting go weird.
It's not the lighting. I think I'd always look like this.
Anyway, it was a shower because I had been playing Beat Saber, so I probably have a red line across here from the VR.
That's it. But yeah,
that's what this is.
I came home making a right rackets, opening the door and stuff, and I came in and Ed was playing. He was dancing to Lizzo Beat Saber, flailing his little wrists around, and I just stood there enjoying the view, admiring it, and thought, oh, he probably hasn't realised I'm home yet. Or if he has, he probably heard it. But you didn't say hello or anything like that.
Because you did not make a sound.
I did. I was clanking the keys. That door is really heavy. It's got like 9 locks on it. It's true, it does. Did you notice that? You know, there's the 4 in the middle. There's like 4 at the bottom as well. And like 1 at the top.
Oh, I didn't tell everyone.
Yeah. If you want to break in, you have to put a card right in here. But yeah, so I got in, and then while you were playing Beat Saber, I stood very close next to you, and you took your headset off, turned around, saw me, and would you like to make the noise that you did?
No, but, okay, from my point of view, okay, I'm in VR, I'm playing Beat Saber, I'm having a lovely time dancing to Lizzo, and also The Weeknd, which is great, everyone should go download it. Having a great time dancing away in my own little world, can't hear a thing, and I had finished the song. I thought, oh, I'll just double check the time. Took the headset off, and to the left of me is this figure, semi in the dark.
I wasn't semi. I was fully erect.
Who said absolutely nothing, just staring at me completely still like a fucking serial killer, and I shat myself.
Oh, it was great. Honestly, he also had like 2 screams. He went, ah! And then
I screamed, and then I screamed again because 1 scream was not enough.
Yeah. And then cowered on the sofa, went, "Do not touch me!"
Literally.
think that
Because
was
my heart was like, boom, 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 boom. Literally, I thought I was about to get stabbed.
and then we went in the shower, and no, that didn't happen.
Shut up.
I wasn't expecting you. I honestly, if I'd known you were going to react like that, I would have recorded it, because next time I will. I promise.
Honestly, it was too much. Don't ever do that again.
I will never ever do that again without recording it. I promise. Oh, it was brilliant. But yeah, I've been told to give you some. Who was it that told me to give you some ice cream to make? You know, I mean, that will literally make you shit yourself, won't it?
I mean, that will, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd take that. I like a bit of ice cream.
Yeah. But I don't, because I have to clean up after you. I have to go clear the skid marks off the back of the toilets, basin. It's like Lewis Hamilton's been racing around there.
You are revolting and an awful liar.
Just aim for the water. If you get the water, it doesn't leave a stain down the back.
It's quite hard to aim when you're sat down.
We just leave the hole above the water.
Doesn't always come out vertically, though, does it?
Does it not?
Depends.
You see when does
Anyway,
poo come out at an angle? Is that a thing? I didn't realize that. Anyway, yeah, apparently that was that was when I said yesterday that loud noises scare me, and then you went and terrified me on Friday night. No, I mean, I'm looking for people to I'm looking for people to back me up here. I thought poo just came out.
well, no, it depends on the force and the consistency. It might come out at a different angle.
I mean, yeah, you get like old splatter guns sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, how was your week been, Ed?
Fine.
Fine, yeah. Shut yourself at all?
I shot myself earlier today.
Yeah.
Thanks to you. But otherwise, no shitting of self. All is fine.
By the way, Moon Princess says that this is the third day in a row where I've been in a stream where we talked about taking a shit. Has Money been streaming the last 2 days?
I think I talked about it briefly yesterday.
Oh yeah, that sounds like you.
I mean,
Lovely. As you do.
Yeah, standard.
What have you done the last week? What have we been up to? Or what have you been up to the last week?
Well, we went to see Strictly on Saturday.
Oh yeah. Tell the listeners about Strictly Come Dancing.
I came. It was glorious.
We both went.
Yes. No, it's super fun. It's really fun to go watch a TV show being filmed. And it's interesting when you watch it on TV and then you go to the studio and you like the sort of perspective is weird. Like the actual dance floor is smaller than you think it is, but then the actual audience area is massive. So it looked like, I mean, we had incredible seats. We were right behind Tess Daly, who is one of the presenters.
Yeah.
We were literally
married to Vernon Kay, but we don't judge her by her choice in men.
No. And where we were sat, we were directly behind her in every single shot. But we were actually sort of 3 rows from the front down the side. But just from perspective, it looked like we were right behind her.
Yeah.
So just an amazing view, and it was really, really fun just to watch those hot people be sexy on a dance floor.
Yeah, I mean, we turned up, and because we were told to get there between like 3:40? No,
4:45 and 5.
4:45 and 5, and we're like, you sure? Like, not before? Like, no, come in at that time. And apparently that was the time that people came in who were like friends of producers or production,
Like us.
like us, yeah.
We're the cool people.
Because one of the producers comes around to watch Formula One with us. So we went and we got in there, and I didn't realize there were people in the audience that had been queuing since like 3 a.m.
Yep.
Like they queue up for nearly 24 hours to get seats, and then they get shoved right to the top. And we saunter in like an hour and a half before, or even that was like an hour before they started filming certain things that get shown later. And we got like given the best seats. I literally can't think of any better seats.
Yeah.
Like there were none. Because there were some people behind the judges, and they look really close on the TV, but actually they're quite far back. And then they'd have to look past the judges, and then they can't even see what's happening on the dance floor. So yeah, we just had fantastic seats, and apparently we actually watched it live back, didn't we? And We were on.
We sat and watched ourselves.
We were pretty much, we didn't really care about anything else. We're like, oh look, there's you, there's us. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But yeah, we watched that. They recorded. There was a recording with Tom Grennan. He was actually
It's not announced yet.
Is it? No,
because that was filmed early.
But that wasn't for Strictly. That was for another thing. I thought that one was that one. There's no.
It's not showing for like 3 weeks.
Well, everybody else will say that. Yeah, but anyway, definitely didn't see anything like that. Then we saw I don't like that guy that
Luke Evans.
Yeah.
No, not for you.
No, he
had a lovely voice.
He is clean shaven and a roll neck. He just screams Tory. I don't know. He's not.
I mean, he's Welsh, but sure.
You can have Welsh Tories. Andrew R.T. Davis. Yeah, I just don't like him. Yeah, Matt Hancock. He just screams Matt Hancock. Yeah. No, I don't like a roll neck.
The gay actor Luke Evans, indeed.
Yeah.
From Beauty and the Beast and loads of other films I can't think of. But yeah, he has an album out and he sang The Gaston, indeed. He didn't sing that. He sang Bridge Over Troubled Water. And it was lovely.
It was like well sung, but oh my god, it just screams week 5 of American Idol or X Factor with Ioan Quigg singing. Here is Iogan Quigg singing Bridge Over Troubled Water, and Simon Cowell's like, oh yes, it was very good.
You're a harsh critic.
I hate those songs like that one. Ain't No Mountain High Enough. No, go on there and perform a song that's new.
Helios, I appreciate his Speedo Beach picks. Ben does not, but I do.
No, I don't care. I don't care about him. And he seemed to just really a bit, turn up, sing a song and run off.
Well, that's all they do. It's about the dancing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had a lovely time.
Yeah.
Thank you to my friend Gina.
Yes, thank you, Gina. And afterwards we got taken by one of the professional dancers to the after party.
Well, yes, it was the Star Bar. But there weren't many stars in there. But we did get to meet Fleur East and Vito.
Which I was equally excited about meeting both of them.
Of course.
Yeah. Vito had a very, very firm handshake.
He
has muscles in every part of his body.
I bet.
Especially in his fingers. And was really nice. He was like asking, I think he asked where we were, and I said where, and he was like, huh? I was like, it's very kind of him to ask, but I don't think he had any idea. He was the one with the butt. It is the blue tick. It was the final thing that blue tick.
It's the last thing I get.
We got because of his friend or our friend, your friend, but she's lovely, and it's friend. And then we chatted to Fleur East, and I told her that I had voted for her in the X Factor like 15 years ago.
Which I'm sure made her feel really young and fresh.
She was like, oh, and it's like, well, round 2. Vito from Strictly was dancing a waltz and wore white pants, and he had an incredible butt.
Vito Coppola.
On
Insta. That's COPPOLA.
Wait, when was Fleur in X Factor?
I mean, it was not 15 years. You are definitely exaggerating. It was literally as
she was in X Factor.
Living it up in the city. We got nothing wrong with standing around. Gotta kiss myself.
2014.
Goddamn.
Okay. Wait. No.
2000. She sang that.
2005. As part of Addictive Ladies.
Yes, that's true.
There you go. But but she was also
Uptown Funk. That's what I was thinking.
Uptown Funk.
Yes, because that was the year that that song came out, and she sang it on X Factor, like when it had just come out, and it was like that was part of the reason it kind of blew up in the UK because she'd sung it on X Factor.
But she was also it was in 2014. She was in as a solo artist. So that was only 8 years ago. Well, I'm glad I didn't tell her it was 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Well done.
Yeah, and then I crop dusted her.
You what?
I crop dusted her.
What?
We were standing at a bus stop.
Oh, you farted on her at the bus stop. Sure.
Yeah, I did. I had a really bad belly because I had not eaten anything for ages, so my stomach was like, "Rah!" And I had a bad stomach the whole day. It was awful. I had to take a shit in a portaloo outside in the Strictly things, and then so I was at the bus.
We're back on shit.
Yeah. Then I was at the bus stop, did a massive fart, and it stunk. And then just as that was there lingering, like about a few seconds later, Fleur walked past, which I didn't realize it was her, and her boyfriend just walked through my fart cloud. Is this making the podcast, says Liz? Yeah, I mean, yes. I don't do any editing. I mean, I do. I just put the little song at the beginning and that's it. Swapping fart sticks.
Don't smell that theme, Cafe.
Don't
smell it.
I smell a theme for today. Yeah, it's gone off. Cheesy says, just think a piece of you is now in her. Went in her nose. Oh.
Grim.
So, yeah, that was then we finally got home at like 2 a.m.
And have McDonald's.
And we did have a McDonald's. Ed ate a McDonald's. That is the biggest shock of the week. Ed ate 18 McNuggets.
Needs must.
18 McNuggets he had.
Yeah.
Nothing else. He was like, just get me nuggets. I was like, do you want like a drink or fries? Nuggets. I just want nuggets. And okay. So got him some 18 nuggets.
Oh dear.
McNuggets. Yeah. I blasted a few McNuggets on Fleur East.
The other two couldn't fit, Cheesy. It was a box of 20, and I got a fair way through, but I couldn't fit any more in.
No, he can only fit 17 in or 18 in. Do a 100 nugget challenge. Yeah, only 18. What a quitter! I know. Then I had 2 cold, soggy nuggets the following day while I was. Well, no, I wasn't hungover because I didn't drink anything, but I was
just tired.
Just very, very tired. Oh, anyway, so video games. We can now reveal that we've been playing God of War for a couple of weeks, haven't we?
We have. Should we talk about other stuff and then we can get on that?
Well, do you think people might not want to hear about God of War first?
Well, they do, so therefore we can keep them waiting.
I respect them too much.
All right. What did you think of God of War then?
It's all right, isn't it?
I'll just preface this by saying we're not going to talk about any spoilers. We're not going to talk about any story bits. This is just general thoughts. And also, neither of us have finished it yet. We're only about halfway through. We've been playing it for a couple of weeks, but we're at a similar point. Although I've played more, I've just done more of the side content than you.
Yeah, I've just gone mainlining it. And I'm playing this on easy mode, and there was like a side mission that I started fighting, and this thing just kicked my ass. I had to go into story mode, and even in story mode it took me like 4 goes to kill it. Really pissing me off.
That's why you should do the side content and level up.
Yeah, because my health bar is like probably about half the size of yours.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, so we are going to be doing a quick look of God of War afterwards. So if you are interested and want to see what the opening act is like, we're going to be doing that and posting it to YouTube. But yeah, so what do you think of... Well, let's talk about the good things. What would you give it a score out of 10?
Oh, we're going straight in for a score.
Straight in for a score, yeah.
Out of 10, Now, okay, bear in mind, obviously, neither of us have finished it. I would probably give it an 8 out of 10.
You know what? I was going to say the same.
Really?
Yeah. Well, what do you think I was going to give it?
I don't know. Just, you're copying me.
Yeah, I was going to say 8. Because, I mean, there are definitely things that annoy me, but it's a very good game. And anybody that, like, some people say, oh, it's just, DLC from the first one. It isn't. The story, I'm not going to spoil it, but it feels fully fleshed out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not DLC. Mm-hmm. It is definitely more of the same. It is a PS4 game on a PS5, and it's out on PS4 as well. You can go play on PS4. So I don't think it runs very well, and I haven't tested that. And I imagine my PS4 launch model would probably explode if I tried to play it.
Yeah.
But it is, even the game design is like a PS4 game. So anyone who's played it, you'll notice there are lots of moments where Kratos is like sidling through a small gap or crawling under something or something, or there's a little cutscene of jumping over a log or something like that. Whenever that happens, that's the game loading in the background. So it's really clever for a PS4 era game how they managed to create this entire world without any loading screens. But you don't need to do that anymore because the PS5 can load super quick. But the world design still is like that, which kind of makes it feel a little bit dated.
Yeah. Because sometimes the worst bit is like, so they have is it the life tree that you wait and that you were running around until you go to the next level?
Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil. How do you know that?
It's the world tree. I know Norse mythology.
Okay. Oh well. La-di-da.
I read one book on it.
Yeah. Was it the Stephen Fry one?
No, it was Neil Gaiman.
Oh, is it?
It's a very good book. You should read it.
Okay. Well, Yggdrasil or whatever his name is, the tree that you run around. So when you go from one world to another, you go through like a portal into a tree branch, and you're running around this tree branch until it's kind of loaded up the next level, and then you go and enter through the door that just magically appears on the tree branch. And the annoying thing is that obviously that's there for the PS4 to load in the background, but while you're doing that, to make it seem less of a laborious just running around, there's some speech or there's some people talking, but it's kind of really kind of banal stuff. It's nothing really important. Maybe they're just recapping what's happened. But when you realize that that's what's happening, it's like, well, I'm on a PS5. Why can't I just go straight to the world that I'm wanting to? And I know that it's fully loaded, whatever it is in the background, but I've just got to wait for this kind of annoying speech that you can't skip to go through before I can actually get to the next part. So those type of things. And when the amount of times you're having to crawl through a couple of rocks and taking quite a while to get there because you know that your PS4 friends are going to be waiting for it to load in the background. So yeah, there is quite a lot of that and now you notice it. The first time was great on God of War when I played it on the PS4 Pro. It was great. There was no loading screens. All of this was really clever. But yeah, like you said, now it's not really needed. So it just stretches things out a bit.
Yeah. I will say it is refreshing to be playing a linear action game. I feel like linear has become a bit of a bad word because so many games now, they're like, oh, we need to make an open world game. And you get something like Elden Ring that's just huge and overwhelming for a lot of people. And it's great to explore, but sometimes you just really want to focus in on a good story game. And this is very much a linear action game.
Yeah.
There are moments where it branches out, but for the most part, it is very much just a linear game. Like the first one, it's a continuation. And I really like that. It's really refreshing to be playing that. Like I say, some of the game design feels a little bit last gen, I guess. But it's really nice to be playing a game that just gives you essentially a thrill ride. In some ways, it reminds me of Uncharted in that it is sort of jumping around different worlds for different story beats with big set pieces and bosses and stuff that you defeat. And it's like a thrill ride of a roller coaster, ups and downs, and it's sort of always keeping you on your toes, which I really like.
Yeah, I would give it a bit more than Uncharted. I don't think it's super linear in that way. Like if you just stick to the main story, yeah, absolutely. But if you're like me now, and I'm sure you have as well, once you've cleared an area, once you've finished, once you've been to this random world or a mission area and you've completed the main story, you're free to kind of wander around, do all these side missions. You can explore pretty much like the remaining 75% of the map, which is just then magically opened up to you. So having all of that and having challenges as well. I mean, I've not been as challenged playing a game, an open world-ish game like that since Phoenix Immortals Rising, which has some fantastic open world puzzles, which I feel like God of War has copied from.
You can pipe down. You can absolutely pipe down.
I do enjoy the puzzles, although sometimes I'm like, I kind of want to rush through the story a little bit, but part of me is thinking, I've spent 45 minutes just trying to work out how to get the second light off this chest. So maybe, I mean, I'm sure that's a brain thing for me that's holding me back. But now now the game's out and I'm not wanting to kind of rush through the story. I'm going back and doing a few of these things, although I'm not going to try and 100% every area because that would just take forever.
That would take forever. I really like the puzzles. It's lots of mechanical kind of puzzles that you do have to use your brain a little bit, but none of them are particularly challenging. But they're just very satisfying to play through. The story is essentially kind of Norse mythology soap opera. It's kind of, all the gods are a big family and they all love and hate each other. And you just kind of get swept up in the middle of it. And I'm not going to say anything more on the story, but it's kind of just fairly frothy soap opera-y, but a nice take on Norse mythology. The characters that people think they know and love, this is a bit of a different take on them, which I really appreciate. It looks stunning as well, even though, as we've said, it's a PS4 game on a PS5, it genuinely looks stunning. The art design is incredible, absolutely incredible. My main gripe with it, and the main reason that it's an 8 not a 10, partly is that sort of older design thinking. It's not really doing anything new. It's just it's just a really fun, well-made action game. One of the biggest gripes that has come up in reviews, which I do agree with, is the pacing of it. And sometimes that's because there are just slower moments in the story that I think go on a little bit too long. As I said, it's a roller coaster. There are peaks and troughs. Some of the troughs are a little bit long, I personally think.
Yeah, I think one thing when we were going, you go to I'm not going to explain what it really is, but like underground area. And as you're traveling under it, you see so many of these different areas, and they all have areas that have like some chests or some walkway, and you're like, oh, I guess I'm going to be making my way all the way through here eventually. And yeah, lo and behold, you're there for like a good hour or so just doing the main story. So it's like you can tell they certainly have some areas, and you go, okay, I'm going to be here a while, and it does like drain you a little bit.
Well, the other thing is this whole idea of the single shot. So this was kind of really built up in the first game where, as we said, there are no loading screens. So the whole thing is just one continuous shot the entire game, which is very clever. And when you realize that they're doing it, you can see how they do it and how they piece that together. And that's really clever in terms of game design and really well done. But the downside to that is that unless the level design is circular, and so when you go into an area, you sort of work your way around and you end up coming back to where you were, you know that if you're going through an area, if it's completely linear, you get to the end of it and then it's right, this has happened, and now I know I've got to go all the way back again. When some games would just cut and take you back to, I don't know, say Mass Effect, you finish a planet and then you just go back to your ship and off you go. Whereas in this, because it's that continuous shot, you know that you've then got to turn around and go all the way back the way you came. And sometimes it's not quite the same. They throw in extra enemies, things like that, fine. But that kind of means it ends up feeling a bit padded out when it could be a bit snappier and a bit pacier. I do feel like they have crammed in a lot. Even in the half game that we've played so far, they have crammed in a lot of stuff. I think the developers talked about this being a trilogy and then decided they didn't want to keep people waiting, so they decided to just make it 2 games. So that's why this is the second game in the sort of Norse pairing, but there is a lot in this game. They have really crammed in a lot. And if you love Norse mythology and you love the previous God of War games, there is a lot to just completely immerse yourself in and revel in, and that's amazing. This isn't going to change your mind if you didn't like the previous one either.
No. It's more of the same in that way, but they have tweaked certain things and made it a little bit better.
It's a better game overall.
Yeah, they've improved everything that God of War did, the original God of War did, well, the PS4 one, but I don't know. I haven't experienced anything at the moment that's hugely different.
No.
They've added some things, which is like, okay, that's cool. I'm not sure how much I love it, but there's no kind of reinventing the wheel at all, like the first game did.
Yeah. But it's incredibly well made. And I would say that, if anyone has bought a PS5 and you want a good game to play on it, absolutely buy God of War Ragnarok. Like, you will not be disappointed. I don't think anyone would be disappointed by it. There are some people who maybe won't be as wowed as others, but I don't think anyone would be disappointed by it. It is absolutely brilliant.
But also play the first one first, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
and play it
You
quite
have to.
and play it quite recently because I didn't, and there was like they keep referring to things, and I'm like, I don't remember that. Don't remember that.
There is a recap you can watch. There's a little cinematic, but it doesn't quite go into enough detail to really remember.
No, I mean it's very very brief. And then you're still faced with loads of characters from the first game, and you're like, I think I remember you. What were you? Were you the one that was there making armor? And yeah, like you can't quite remember. There's also a new character which I haven't seen. I've only seen once. It's been in the materials. People are posting it all over Twitter. The squirrel or the beaver.
The squirrel
The squirrel
is not in the previous game, no.
No, but like I mean, if people have posted it all over Twitter. It's part of the marketing. It's not like a spoiler to say it exists. But that was very very cute.
Yeah. There's a cute squirrel. 10
There
out of
is
10.
a cute squirrel, and I saw that and I thought, oh, guess they're gonna sell that. They're gonna make little cuddly toys out of the
Maybe.
squirrel.
Maybe.
Nice, lovely bit of squirrel. What do you think of the customization? Because that's definitely had a bit of an upgrade, so to say.
Well, there was a lot of customization in the previous game, and there's even more of it this time, which feels a little bit fiddly and a bit unnecessary because there's just so many options. You have different types of armor that you can put on. You can then add different upgrades to your weapons. So there's a lot that you can tweak and customize.
It's
The impact of it isn't immediately clear, I would say.
Yeah, it's not. I just get a bit frustrated because you upgrade. You've got your shield, you've got your axe, and you've got your blades, and you can add a knob to you have to
Pommel.
There is a knob. It's called like the knob, like blacksmith's knob. You can add to your
Sure.
with an NOB. But yeah, like some of them are called knobs, some of them are called pummels. But then you upgrade those as well, don't you? So that you can upgrade the axe, you can also upgrade the knob. Then there's the or the pummel. Then you've got the blades that have got another couple of things that you can upgrade. Then there's the shield that you can upgrade. But then you've also got like an outer part of a shield. But then you can also replace it with a high level shield. But then you use a different, but then you're keeping the same outer part of the shield on your new shield, and then you've got your skill trees, which are interesting, but I'm pretty sure I unlock so many of these moves and use maybe about 10% of them. But the more that you use, you can if you use a certain move a load of times, you can then unlock an elemental damage or extra damage or whatever, like a special bonus on that move every time you do it, which is quite useful for me who just does the same one pretty much again and again. It's just I like all the customization, and I like that they've added all this craftable stuff, but it just makes me like, it makes my head hurt, and I'm like, I'm not.
It's kind of just stuff.
It's unnecessary.
Do.
Yeah,
it's just stuff to do to give you something to do. It's nowhere near as bad as Horizon. I'll say that much. Horizon Forbidden West gives you so many different weapons and upgrades and God knows what, and most of it is absolutely terrible and unnecessary. This is nowhere near that bad. It's just giving you extra stuff. And in terms of options as well, we have to mention the accessibility options. There are, I can't remember the final number, but there are so many accessibility options in this. A lot of which can actually kind of change the game quite a bit. There's an option where you can add in extra checkpoints to bosses to make it slightly easier. Or there are things where you don't have to press a button to pick up collectibles on the floor. There's one.
That's what I did with The Last of Us. Oh, it made my life so much easier.
Yeah. There's one where you can just push forward and you don't have to press a button to leap over ledges. Where it's like, well, why isn't that just the control scheme anyway? Like that would be a lot easier. So there are
it's a game, Ed.
There are a lot of different accessibility options. A lot of those around controls, a lot of them around audio options and subtitles, and you can completely change all the colors to make things like different colors and more visible if you want. There are so many accessibility options.
They need an accessibility option for dumbed down menus, because honestly, going through the abilities, your armor, like you've got a skill tree you've got 3 skill trees for each weapon.
Yeah.
So your weapon has got 3 skill trees. Then you unlock skill trees for other characters. Little spoiler there. but like if you're playing as another character, you unlock their skill trees for their different weapons as well. It just gets too much. You've got like XP for
It's not that bad.
Oh, it's like I don't want to be. It's like, well, I've got this so much XP that my Kratos has got, and I'm like, now do I do it on the ranged part of his axe, or shall I go on the melee part of the blades, or shall I go on? It just
randomly select options and press buttons.
see, but
That's
I
what you
don't,
need
I don't
to
like
do.
doing that. I like to know what I'm supposed to be going for. I don't like randomly adding shit. It's no that I and then it's like, oh, you've unlocked this thing, this part, this amulet that you can now attach to various things, and I've no idea what the amulets do.
Well, you have to slot different abilities into the amulet, but you have to repair the amulet so you don't just get loads of abilities at once.
Oh, see, it's just
There you go.
it's confusing.
I'll help you. Don't worry.
It is confusing.
worry.
We'll show you on the quick look later. But, I mean, we're gonna. Maybe I'll show you a later save, but just looking at the menu, so you can just see how annoying it gets.
Sure. But yeah, it is absolutely the game of the moment, and it's brilliant. If you own a PlayStation, go play it. It absolutely has our joint recommendation, I would say.
It does. Go play it, but just put it on easy so you don't need to faff around with all the customization and skill trees and all that.
So there we go. Yes, I think we are good with
Spoiler,
God of War.
end of spoilers, yeah?
Well, there weren't really too many spoilers anyway.
No, actually.
No, it's very general chat, but we'll maybe talk more spoilery stuff later when we play it.
Yeah.
Maybe. So have you been playing any other games?
And we'll
this
see
week?
whether Kratos gets his arm back.
That is bullshit. Have you played anything else this week, man?
I have.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Oh, you want me to? Sure. I played 5 minutes of a game.
A whole 5 minutes.
Yeah, my second long. Of a game called Marvel Snap.
Oh.
It's fine. I've just done the tutorial and
I played 5 minutes. It's fine.
it's fine.
A great review.
I will give you more information about that next week, but I've heard really good things about it, so I downloaded it, played a couple of games. I'm getting kind of Witcher, Gwent vibes, not from The Witcher, the Gwent separate card game as the separate one with the, so you put down, you have 6 turns and you place down cards each turn. You have a certain number of power. So every turn you get 1 extra power. And some cards can only be put down with like 3 powers. And some can only be put down with 5. So you can only do that in the final 2 rounds. And then you place them in 3 areas and they've all got different powers, all got different like extra bonuses, blah, blah, blah.
I'm confused already.
Yeah, you just need to play it to find out. But it's fun, and you upgrade your cards visually. And as you upgrade them visually with so far I've made them like uncommon and then rare frames. So their frames turn from green to blue. And as you upgrade the cards visually, you unlock other cards. So that is how they are unlocked. There is a battle pass.
Did you buy it?
Not yet, but I probably will because I am enjoying it. I enjoy a card game, and I think this might be the card game that I finally play a little bit more than 10 hours like I did with Gwent.
Oh, more than 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to play some more. I even played a bit before dinner today. You scowled at me to finish my game quickly because my pasta was going cold.
Exactly.
Yeah. But other than that, I have been playing Persona 5 on the Switch in handheld mode.
And how does that run?
It runs very well. Yeah, there are bits, where it doesn't look incredible because obviously it is in handheld mode and there's like your little character far away in the distance. So obviously it's just a few pixels. But other than that, it's running beautifully. I'm just trying to whiz through the first dungeon because I've done it like 4 times and it's driving me a bit insane.
How far through are you now?
I've just got to the bit where somebody jumped somewhere and splattered, but she's actually okay.
I do not remember. I played it like 5 years ago.
There's a girl that jumps off the top of the school building because she's been bullied by the gym teacher.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, so we're about to go in and start making our way through the first dungeon properly.
Okay.
And I forgot that I'd So when I loaded up last night, well, when I was playing it last night, they said, you've unlocked all the bonus features. And it was literally, oh my God, could you hear it? Just go ching, click ching, ching. There are about 50 things that I'd unlocked, but they would only show on the screen 4 at a time. So I was like, next, then ching, next, ching. And it was like this for 5 minutes. So I put on beachwear.
Of course.
But the beachwear only appears when you're in a dungeon. So I was literally at work today just playing it. And then all of a sudden we went to the dungeon. I was like, oh, everybody's in their shorts. So because people were walking past looking over their shoulder, I was like, I can't play this. It looks wrong. So I put it down. So I'll be enjoying that in bed tonight.
Bet you will.
Yeah. No, I won't. The pixels. But I will go. But I've unlocked so many different types of aesthetics and stuff. It looks like there's a school uniform for each season. So I might just stick to whatever season we're in and change it around, something like that. But it's great. And honestly, this feels like it is going to be, and I've said this many times before, I'm sure, but it feels like the game that I will be playing in bed and I'm going to eventually finish in like a year.
Are you actually going to finish this game
in
this time?
About a year, because I play about an hour before bed every night, and it is the perfect game because you don't get really stressed out and an hour disappears really quickly and then you're ready to sleep.
I mean, I played it on PS4.
Oh, apparently the costumes change the music. I didn't realize that.
There you go.
What's the beach wear? What's that one called?
Are you thinking of a steel drum?
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
I like a steel drum.
Yeah, sure.
What's another word? Marimba.
No.
No? Is that a steel drum?
No.
Why not?
Because a marimba is like a really long, it's like a xylophone with the individual things.
Oh, and it sounds like a steel drum.
It sounds nothing like a steel drum because it's made of wood, not metal.
Huh. I must be thinking of something else.
A xylophone is made of metal.
But steel drum is made of metal.
Yes, it's made of steel.
Huh. Is a xylophone made of steel?
I don't think it's made of steel, but it's made of metal.
What metal?
There's also, I don't know, then there's a glockenspiel, which is like the tiny one.
Isn't that the triangle?
Ding, ding. You what?
Yes, marimba's a ringtone, that's right. Like radar. Glockenspiels are massive. What do we call the big drum? Kettle drum. That's not like the steel drum though, is it? Because kettles are made of steel. But a kettle drum and a steel drum are not the same. Are they made of kettles? Your face is turning like the colour. You are steaming like a kettle. Out the ears. I used to play the tuba.
Was that made of kettles?
Tuba Smarties. No, I used to play the actual tuba. Big breaths. Anyway, so that was Persona. So I will eventually finish that game one day. I'm loving it. I'm really loving it.
Good. I look forward to you
talking about it
so that we can actually talk about it.
No, I mean, I'm looking forward to talking about it on the podcast every single week for the next year. I'll be like, yeah, I've finished the first dungeon. I know it's warm because it's May. We're in May. We're finally
also,
finished.
It's just hearing you talk about that, and it's just reminding me of everything else that happened. And I'm like, you've got so long to go. It took me about 110 hours, I think.
And that was not Royal, was it?
Wasn't it? Because I played the original, not Royal. And I'm really tempted to play it again as Royal because there's extra content that I want to experience. But then I think I don't have a spare 120 hours to go through it all.
Says the man who was like, oh, I really want to restart Elden Ring.
Yeah, but I can play that quicker now because I can just respec on New Game Plus.
You need to wait until the DLC is announced at the Game Awards and then go into New Game Plus and experience the DLC with that.
Listen, I've written 95 articles about Elden Ring for Eurogamer. 95. I need to hit 100 by the end of the year.
I mean, the DLC will come out and you'll hit 200, I'm sure.
Maybe.
This person has finished Elden Ring with their toes.
Well, if someone could just like do a weird run of it again or make a weird mod, please let me know. I'll write about it just for the sake of getting to 100.
I mean, you will get to 100 no matter what.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is what I've been playing. Should we go and look at the news?
Funny.
What have you been playing then?
So I've been playing quite a few games. Obviously God of War we've talked about. That is out today. Yesterday.
Fucking hell, what's that?
What did you just spit your tea out?
There's something in it. What's that?
Tea?
No, it's something white and plasticky. What's that?
Fuck? Where?
Can you see?
Oh.
You poisoning me? What is that?
I actually have no idea.
Is that plastic? Look at that, trying to poison me. Jeez, no, that's a fucking macroplastic. That's half the... What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, it snaps. What is that?
Oh, God.
Poisoning me.
All right, well, don't drink any more of that.
Are you killing me because I made you a mint tea with milk in?
Yes.
Which I finished off and it was delicious.
Absolutely
Honestly,
not.
mint tea with milk. It's like minty white chocolate. It's lovely. Like a minty milky bar. Maybe calcium sediment from the kettle. Yeah, need to get
The
yourself a new
kettle does need cleaning.
We're getting a new kettle.
No, it just needs cleaning.
We need to get a new kettle. We need a kettle that you can type how many degrees you want. They're amazing.
Are
I
you
had one.
paying for that?
Fine, if I have to.
It's a fucking kettle.
It's the staple of a British household.
Yeah, so get a basic one.
What?
Anyway.
You getting basic essential items is the reason both our backs are fucked.
And you buying expensive ones is the reason you're in debt.
I'm not in debt, but sure. Wow. Not in debt. Anyway.
So 2 new games came out yesterday. One of which we have already talked about, which is Beat Saber. There's the weekend pack with Ooh, I'm blind about the lights and loads of other tunes.
My favourite is the one that finishes with a I think that was part of the song.
Yes, clearly. It was a Michael Jackson whoop.
Yeah.
So that is very good. Everyone should go play that. Also, a game came out yesterday called Sonic Frontiers.
That's also a game where you were screaming, actually.
I was screaming.
I was playing Persona. I was playing Persona in bed, and all I could hear was, "You fucking asshole! This fucking game!"
So, Sonic Frontiers is a mess. And
Sorry, I farted.
I just realised that.
I got a bit excited. I shouted a bit too loud, and it slipped out. It happens with age. Oh, well, God, it's quite a bad one, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, that's from your dinner, so call it a recommendations to the chef. Or, what's it called? Compliments to the chef. Oh, I'm not sure they're aware that people watching this, yeah. Ed, how do you find Sonic Frontiers? Big breath.
Right.
Anyway, what has everybody been playing? It's part of me.
I don't want part of you.
It's not what you were saying in the shower earlier.
You can shush. So Sonic Frontiers is a mess. But I still kind of love it. Sonic is a series I've loved since I was a kid. Like, Sonic is what got me into video games when I was younger. So I always have a bit of a soft spot for Sonic games. And I sort of love Sonic Frontiers, even though it's completely flawed. I don't like it as much as I want to, but I still am enjoying playing it. What I appreciate is that it is very experimental as far as Sonic games go. They are very much trying to do something new, and I really appreciate that. So what they've got is this open zone structure, which is essentially open world, but not. But it's like a big Sonic level, but it's completely open. They're trying to create this sandbox of like ramps and speed jumps and whatever else and springs that you can just run around and explore and as Sonic, which is honestly the ideal Sonic game. To me, the ideal Sonic game is sort of Tony Hawk skateboarding, but as Sonic, where it's like this self-contained world that you can just run around and do tricks and collect stuff and all that sort of stuff. And that's kind of what this is on a much bigger scale, which I really enjoy. And I definitely think that is the way forward for Sonic. Within that, you have little mini missions to do and things to collect. There is a story. It's not making a lot of sense. There's something slightly cheap about it. Like, they just don't explain.
Is Knuckles in it?
He is, but not yet.
Is Shadow in it?
No.
He's the best character.
No, he's not.
So he's Eggman.
Robotnik.
What's he called in the game?
Eggman.
Oh.
He will always be Robotnik to me.
What do you... Oh, yeah.
What?
I was going to make a joke.
Oh, come on, then.
We found out earlier what Americans called eggplants, don't we? In America, they're called eggplants, but in Britain, we call them chickens.
If anyone's Eggman, it's this one after what has just been dropped.
Oh, they call me Eggman because of my eggy farts. Oh,
I hate this podcast.
Oh, it lingers, doesn't it? I think that door should open that window. Whew.
Anyway, it's Robotnik. So I really enjoy what they're trying to do with this game, and this kind of open design is great. It unfortunately has two major flaws so far. The first is that Sonic just does not control well at all. And that's the one thing that Sega have never managed to do, really, in a 3D Sonic game, is make Sonic fun to control. You know, you hear all these stories about how with Mario 64, Miyamoto would spend ages just like tweaking Mario's movement so that it's fun to just run around as Mario. They haven't done that with Sonic. So he kind of runs fast, but then stops suddenly. He loses momentum. The turn is kind of really awkward. He just doesn't go where you want him to go. And in the open world, that doesn't matter. Open zone, that doesn't matter as much because it's open, so that's fine. But then there are these cyberspace levels, which are essentially these linear zones mimicking classic Sonic levels. So obviously there's a Green Hill one, there's a chemical plant zone, and boom, boom, boom. And they are completely linear, so it's just you getting to the end of the level. But trying to get an S rank on some of those is ridiculous.
I think you weren't going the right way.
I definitely was.
Did
some
you do
of
it?
them, literally just getting to the end of the level gives you an S rank, and it's really easy. Some of them, it's like I'm like 10 seconds out, and I'm doing what seems to be a perfect run. So I do not understand it. They're very inconsistent.
Did you not
and
get
it
that in the
really
end?
highlights the poor controls, which is annoying.
Did you get that one in S rank in the end?
The very first one.
Well, no, the one that... Oh, that was another thing you can say. You know, the one that you were screaming at the TV.
No,
while
I gave up and I had to leave.
Yeah.
And do something else because it was just irritating me.
Well, I saw you respond. Did you find out? Because I know you were trying to find out on Twitter how to calm yourself down after a game has made you incredibly angry.
I've definitely got more angry at a game than I have at Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah.
The other thing is this whole idea of the open world and the springs and ramps and stuff. Even on a PS5, it just does not run well. There's so much pop in. So you're kind of seeing ramps and springs at the last possible second, which then completely ruins the flow. So that is just a little bit irritating. However, there's still a lot of fun to be had. It is a Sonic game. Sonic games are always flawed. They're never good. So
Even Sonic Mania?
Sonic Mania is great. 3D Sonic games are never good.
Sonic 3D is amazing.
I mean, I like it. It's not a good game, but I like it. This is the thing. Like, I'm biased. I like Sonic Frontiers because I like Sonic games, and I just have a bit of soft spot for them. So I enjoy all of them. I don't think any of them are necessarily good, well-made games, but I still like them, and I still think they're fun. So I'm finding a lot of enjoyment in Sonic Frontiers, but it has some frustrations with it, which if you're not a massive Sonic fan, I don't think you will be as likely to forgive.
I bought you Sonic 3 for your birthday. Did you not like it? Is it not good?
I was talking about Sonic 3D games,
Oh yeah.
not the originals.
Was Sonic 2D games, they all good? Are they good?
Not all of them, no. 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles are.
Sonic Heroes?
Sonic Heroes is 3D. It was fine.
Was that the one that got reviewed like 6 out of 10?
They all review it like 6 out of 10.
Maybe they should just put the franchise to bed.
No. They should hire a good programmer and engineer at Sonic Team who knows how to make a good, well-controlled character.
Of all the games to make a Breath of the Wild version of, like an open world Breath of the Wild kind
This
of
is
knockoff.
nothing like Breath of the Wild. Ben.
But that's what they were going for when they first showed it, weren't they? They were like, "Oh, well, let's try and get people who like
I mean,
Breath
a
of the
little
Wild
bit, and
into it."
now they've rolled back on that and said, "Oh no, it's nothing like Breath of the Wild." To be honest, the it's funny. My boss at work, we were talking about it, and he said that it seemed very Halo-esque in sort of the original Halo, the sort of greens and blues, but a bit bland. It reminded me of that. It also reminds me a little bit of sort of trying to be Death Stranding, but
Oh
not.
well, sorry. Now you've got me interested.
Just as in the color palette is all I mean of that initial world.
Do they have
the
any
sort of
low
greens and
raw?
blues and stuff? No. I will say the soundtrack of this game is fucking brilliant.
Okay.
It's really, really good. There are really, really cool remixes for the cyberspace levels. So the music is great.
So 8 out of 10, same as God of War.
I am around 6 to 7 out of 10.
So only 1 point less than God of War is the broken Sonic Frontiers.
I mean, when you put it like that, maybe God of War's a 9, but
Yeah, I think actually 67 out of 10 or 69 out of 10.
there you go.
I mean, you have your personal kind of points that you add, that you like it because it's a Sonic game.
Exactly. Everyone has their own little biases. So
Okay.
I am, and that's the thing. I've seen reviews of Sonic Frontiers, and some of them are like 9 out of 10, and some of them are like 2 out of 5. There's a real range of reviews.
Yeah, I
and
thought
I
that.
think that there are people who are just long-term Sonic fans that are maybe just more likely to forgive flaws if they've played previous Sonic games because they don't mind as much. And there are some people that are just flat out, no, this is not a well-made game. So I would say your enjoyment of this will depend on how much of a Sonic fan you are.
Which is weird because I'm not a fan of Sonic, but what I played of the demo at EGX, I actually really, really liked it. So
I
maybe
think the EGX demo played better than the final game.
that was on a PC, so maybe it's better on PC.
That is true. Or maybe I was just so excited to play it that I just went with it in the moment.
No, I enjoyed it. I thought it played well, although I was trying to get to a certain bit and I couldn't. And I got very frustrated, and then didn't realize that there was a 20-minute countdown happening, and
Yeah.
didn't really play anything.
Sometimes.
But speaking of Zelda clones, I really want to hear what you thought of Blossom Tales, because I was listening to Giant Bomb, a rival podcast back in the day, and they were talking about Blossom Tales and saying how they preferred it to some Zelda games, and they're not huge Zelda fans, but they were just saying how it's a real like homage to Zelda, but it's also got comedy in it. And I thought I'd play it and enjoy it, and I played a little bit on stream. Nobody was really vibing with it. This is back in the day, a few years ago, and so never really went back to play it. However, as you are a big Zelda fan and you're currently streaming lots of Zelda-like games, such as the incredible Phoenix Immortals Rising, or Immortals
Incredibly
Phoenix.
average Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Well, you would know.
So there you go.
Then, what did you think of Blossom Tales? Because you have played that.
I honestly loved it. It is, like you say, it's an homage to Zelda. It's got lots of comedy. It's very much taking the piss out of Zelda, but in a very loving way. It has a lot of similarities.
Give me some examples.
So the fact that, well, what it does differently is that it's a story in a story. So the idea is that you are this girl called Lily. Well, actually, there's Lily and a little boy whose name I've forgotten. And they're being told a story by Grandpa. So the game that you're playing is then Grandpa narrating the story, which is really nice. But you're playing as Lily, who is a knight in the land of Blossom. So Lily, Link, both L's.
So in this game, Zelda is actually a girl.
Zelda is the girl, yeah. And so you wake up in Lily's house and you have to go to the castle at the beginning, and then you have to go into the dungeons and there's lots of rats. You get bombs in the first dungeon. There's a boomerang. There's a bow and arrow. You go into dungeons. You defeat bosses. It is all done in this kind of pixel style that is very Link's Awakening, the Game Boy game. But there's a lot of Link to the Past in it as well, in the structure of it all, and the sorts of puzzles. It's really cute, but it's really, really well made. And as I was playing yesterday, Erinus was watching and mentioned that actually it's made by one person. It is a one-person dev who has put this whole thing together. And it is genuinely a really, really well-made game. It's not just an homage to Zelda. It's a really fun game in its own right. So anyone who is a fan of Zelda games, I would absolutely recommend playing this. I was playing it on the Switch, but it's also on Steam, and I believe it's on sale on Steam at the moment. It's like £3. So honestly, it's a no-brainer. Go play Blossom Tales if you like Zelda games, because it's really adorable and really well made, surprisingly. And if you like it, there is a second game that came out a couple of months ago, which I've heard is also very, very good. So yeah, if you like it, go play them both.
Will you be playing it more off stream?
I will. Yeah, with this month of Zelda likes, I'm going to see which ones I want to carry on. Immortal, I'm going to carry on the console, not on the PC, because I think it will run better.
Yeah,
and I will give it
does.
another couple of hours and see if it gets anywhere beyond average. Blossom Tale, I'm absolutely going to finish. 100%. I'm going to finish that game. It's brilliant.
I'm glad. I'm very happy.
So thank you for the recommendation.
I am very happy to give it to you. It was me. It was mine. You're playing on my console, right?
No, it's my. You bought it for me.
I don't remember doing that. Did I get the physical? No.
You gifted it to me.
Oh, okay. I'm a kind person, aren't I?
There you go.
Kind-hearted.
It is brilliant though. So definitely go play Blossom Tales.
Yeah, do it. I think it was at the beginning bit. I vaguely remember it, but I remember her like telling. I think did she tell her grandpa to hurry up or something, or she's getting a bit impatient with him and.
Yeah, there's a lot of banter between them in this story within a story, which adds a nice little extra element to it. So it's not just a basic adventure. There's like this other story going on, which is really nice.
A bit like in Immortals Phoenix Rising, how the two gods are narrating it and talking. And
but they never stop talking, and it's very annoying. Very annoying.
Have you been playing Aught Else?
Probably, but we'll talk about something else next week, so that's fine.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Let's find out what the viewers have been playing.
What have the listeners been playing? Right. Let's go and bring. We've got a bunch. Thank you to everybody for doing it today. We had quite a lot of people responding, which is fine. In fact, it went up and then somebody responded pretty much straight away. I think it was Moon Princess. So thank you. The question went up at 3:28 and at 3:46 Moon Princess was there. So thank you very much. Go on. Do you want me to make it bigger so you can see? There you go.
Thank you.
I know you got dodgy eyes.
Well, no, I'm just far away from the screen.
I mean, I could read it. But...
Wow.
Accessibility options.
Anyway, so Moon Princess was straight in. I actually went back to Mass Effect today. First time I could play without feeling dizzy since I got COVID. I last tried to play in September when I was still ill. It didn't end well, so I was very happy to play for a couple of hours. Also got sucked back into Dreamlight Valley. When are you going to finish Mass Effect?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dreamlight Valley, because I played some on Dreamlight Valley as well.
Oh, what did you think of it?
Great game, still feels very well polished. I never got to any bugs that people had. Never. I've not encountered a single bug.
That is surprising.
Yeah, I'm feeling very pleased with that. But it is great. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. I always turn the music to 0 and put some like lo-fi beats on and just...
God, it's like 2020 all over again.
I loved it. It was very chill. What were you saying?
Clues.
Oh, you're asking about... Am I going to go back to...
No, I'm just...
Oh, Mass Effect.
Oh, yeah. Are you going back to Mass Effect?
There is a time that I will go and play through Mass Effect 2. I'll do it when I've got like a few days off so I can try and whiz through it.
You absolutely need to play that.
Yeah. It's old. It's unplayable.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Clues. I thought to visit World of Warcraft again without paying for a sub by using in-game gold. It's the same, just like it was before. my interest quickly waned.
Oh, by the way, Andromedeus says, okay, Blossom Tales bought for my hard-earned gold coins on Switch.
Honestly, you won't. If you like Zelda games, you will not regret it. It's just really fun and cute and not super long. Yeah,
100% going to go and watch your VOD of you playing it because I want to see you experience it and see.
There you go. Brutal Branda. This game came out yesterday, which is called A Little to the Left.
Is it about wearing your trousers?
No, it's a big to the right. I haven't had time to play it yet, but I played the demo a few weeks ago and really loved it. It's a relaxing indie puzzle game that makes you organize stuff. It's really satisfying and the art style is adorable. So I have this downloaded, and I think we should play this as a quick look in a couple of weeks' time.
I'm 100% down for that. Yeah,
this game is kind of this year's Unpacking, is the shorthand version of what people are saying.
Is it a Beyonce song?
It's not, to the left, everything you want and a little to the left.
Everything leans to the left.
It's a puzzle game where you basically just have to organize things in the correct order, but the game doesn't tell you what the order is, so you have to work it out. And it's all just very cute and wholesome, but will probably be incredibly frustrating to play with you.
Yeah, because I don't care.
And I very much do.
Every now and again, I just move. He doesn't even realize I just move the odd video game and put it in the wrong place.
No, you do not.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't.
Have you actually?
No.
Okay, good.
I did that one time and you got...
Very angry, yes. Games will be in alphabetical order.
Yeah, I know, that's weird. Although, are mine?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you actually did that for me.
I went and did all of yours as well.
Very weird.
Yes, no.
Very anal.
Correct. So yes, A Little to the Left. It came out today. There was a Nintendo mini indie thing, and it's out today on Switch. It's also out on PC. So yes, we're going to give that a go, I think.
Yeah, because I think our quick looks are mainly going to be kind of like indie, kind of not massive games, but the fact that we've just started it as these huge games are all coming out like one after the other is just a bit of a coincidence, because this is like this perfect type of game to do a quick look. We could even in the future do a couple in one. You know, if it's a game that you don't want to play for like more than an hour, we could just do a couple of them as well. So they're the type of games that we're hoping for. It's just we've had, what did we have last week?
Last week we had Bayonetta. This week we've got God of War. Next week we'll probably play Sonic. So the week after that we'll do A Little to the Left.
Yeah.
At some point there's Pokemon as well.
Oh,
so we might even do that.
All right. So
there we go. Yuffie, I've been playing Cats and Soup on mobile. Basically what the name says.
It is what the name says.
It is what the name says. Let's go with that. You collect cats, make soups, and expand the area to make more soups. Simple, cute, and the sounds are relaxing.
Oh no.
Very nice.
ASMR, is it?
Maybe. On Switch, it's been Kirby and Disney Dreamlight Valley. Kirby is just so adorable and chill, can't help but love it. Finally figured out ways to play Disney Dreamlight Valley without feeling motion sick. Yes. Which is light settings, slower camera, and shake off, for people wondering.
Shake it off.
And it's more enjoyable. Just wish they would work on the crashes. I get paranoid each time an error happens. I honestly think you're alone in not having crashes.
I play it on PC. I play it on a proper machine. I don't play... Why would you play something that's not 2D?
Because some people want to sit in bed and play games like you do with Persona.
Yeah, but I understand that Persona's just a graphic novel. I mean, it feels like it, to be honest. All I've been doing is tapping through text.
That's fair.
It really bloody is. Does it get better? Well, it does, because when Mementos opens, it's a bit more, isn't it? You can just kind of dick around in there, I think. Yeah. All right.
Randy Pasta, I jumped back into New World after not playing since last year. Some of the things that made me stop playing are fixed. Good to know. Dungeons now have group finders, which is better than spamming general chat for people to join. Leveling is much easier, just following the main story quests. Previously, you had to do more side content to level up, and it would take forever. Also, fast travel is much cheaper, and quests have been grouped closer together. I hated having to walk halfway across the map all the time. I can't comment on the PvP content as I've ignored it so far.
That's good to know, because I have played a bit of New World. I loved everything about it except for the kind of the story and the dungeons. And I really liked the aesthetic of it. I loved the character I'd made, and I loved the world and stuff. So the fact
Did
that
you make a hot character?
I made a very hot character.
Good.
Ridiculously hot. I think that is the hottest MMO game character that you can make.
More than your Catboy.
Yeah, my Catboy is kind of unrealistically attractive.
It's a fantasy game.
Yeah, whereas New World, I mean, 1 tequila it would take.
Wow.
With my character. By the way, do you cook the cats in the cat game? The cat soup?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Yuffie.
Cats and soup, is it? And so this happened today, says Mr. Wibble. Sackboy, a big adventure. Kratos costume.
Indeed. You can dress Sackboy as Kratos. Stret's been playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. Have you guys heard of it? No. Never heard of that. Mr. Wibble, I've continued playing Sackboy on PC. I'm right before the last fight and I'm still enjoying it. I really don't understand, those reviewers who say the controls are finicky.
Don't listen to reviewers or journalists.
Unless it's me.
He likes Sonic.
Yeah, I know. Weird. Pancake, I've been playing a little to the left. There we go.
To the left.
An adorable organisation game that gets pretty hard. There's a few levels that make no sense to me, but save for those, it's very cute and calming. Also, I've been playing Perish Song, an indie roguelike that is devilishly hard but rewarding when you finally get past the section you've been stuck on, and it's cute.
Ooh, that sounds a little bit like Celeste type of thing. I love a devilishly hard one, but doesn't waste your time.
Indeed. Capt is playing the new Sonic game, and small flaws aside, it really is a refreshing take on the series, whilst keeping the key components of Gotta Go Fast. Sure, it's a bit buggy and the story's a bit wishy-washy, but overall, I'm enjoying my time with it. Capt agrees. Westman, I found my way back to Hearthstone, and especially the Battlegrounds mode. Perfect little game to play while watching series or a stream.
Ooh, well, if you're watching...
Maybe like this stream right now.
Yeah, if you're playing it while watching this, then I hope you're enjoying it.
And then Debs has put a link to a game called Aka, which is, yes, on the Nintendo Indie Showcase today. I downloaded the demo just now and started it. It's just the cutest little chill game. It looks very cute. It's a sort of farming-y sim kind of thing, but with some adventure stuff in it. But the style of it looks very cute.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It seems like many games.
Cheesy Kids, I've been really enjoying my usual simulation hype. However, I have recently started playing Coral Island and Honey, I Joined a Cult.
Both great
offer
games.
A refreshing yet new take on the typical genre. I look forward to seeing how they progress.
Yep. I feel like I'm very similar with Cheesy with what games we enjoy. I love a simulation game, whether it's simulating whatever, even racing games. But like Coral Island and Honey, I Joined a Cult, 2 games I love.
Nice. And then lastly, Taunt has been playing Brotato. It's a roguelike like Vampire Survivors, but you play a potato with 6 arms, so you can hold up to 6 weapons. That's cool. It's really goofy, but also lots of fun. I feel like I'm still learning the ins and outs of it, and I'm still working on unlocks, but overall, it's a great, cheap game.
Well, there we go. And that
it's
is
not roasting it.
What?
It's recommended.
I get it, with like potatoes and things.
Yeah, I know.
Right then, let me go and bring up, because I would have done it earlier, but well, tell the listeners what you did today.
I went to work.
How far is your commute?
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're getting some news stories up. So the first is just to note that there are brand new, well, not brand new. They're on the 15th of November, I believe. They're adding some new games to PlayStation Plus, which includes the whole Kingdom Hearts series.
Well, the one that you have to pay loads of money on PC on Epic Store to play.
You can now play them all on PlayStation Plus. Now, I say that it's all the different HD collections and stuff, which I think is pretty much all of Kingdom Hearts. So yeah, they're all on there. There's also Skyrim. So if you still haven't played Skyrim, you can play that on PS Plus.
I just give up. It plays like trash now.
One's for you. They've got Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, The Division 2, and Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
I mean, I've got all 3 of those games, but sure.
There you go. And also, they are adding a load of Ratchet and Clank games. Unfortunately, not Rift Apart, which is the recent PS5 one. But there are loads of all the old PS3 and PS4 games are all being added.
Good.
Which is part of the anniversary of this series.
But also, What Remains of Edith Finch?
Another great game.
One of my favourite stroll-playing games.
There you go.
All right, now should we save this one for because Ed's got an exclusive, but should we save that or do you want that
I
now?
wouldn't say it's an exclusive.
You've exclusively spoken to some people.
I mean, true.
Go on then, tell the
Okay,
listeners.
so this was some news from last week, which happened last Friday, I think. Which is a load of interviews came out with Yoshi P about Final Fantasy 16. And initially I was disappointed because I was not offered an interview. And then I realised that there was one done by IGN and they asked an excellent question where they put it to Yoshi P, why is there not enough diversity in the cast of Final Fantasy 16? Because the game looks brilliant, but the one massive criticism that pretty much everyone has is that there are barely any women and there are no non-white characters.
Which I just don't get because that criticism was on Final Fantasy 15 as well. So you'd think they might have listened.
You'd think they might learn. I mean, the series does not have a great history with, at the very least, black characters. Apart from Barrett and Saz and I guess Fran from 12, who
people
is
said there's
also
only been
a
like
rabbit.
3 in the entire series. Is that true?
Yeah.
Phew.
And then 14 is definitely a lot more diverse, which Yoshida was the director of. So you'd think that he would also learn from 14. So basically, he was asked as to why there's not enough diversity, and he came back with a fairly appalling response, essentially saying that in the world of the game, this is a very small region, so there wouldn't be diversity. Also, that they are inspired by medieval Europe, which in their eyes is apparently pure white, which is factually incorrect. Scroll back up.
Oh. So I was reading all the comments of how trashy they are. I like all the trashy comments. Or the top story is somebody's like, I don't remember there being a problem.
Go up.
Up.
Stop. Down. There.
Would you like the mouse?
You're doing it. Yeah.
There it is.
Jeez. Anyway, he said it can be challenging to assign distinctive ethnicities to either antagonist or protagonist without triggering audience preconceptions, inviting unwarranted speculation, and ultimately stoking flames of controversy, which is also known as I'm a fucking pussy. In the end, we simply want the focus to be less on the outward appearance of our characters and more on who they are as people who are complex and diverse in their natures, backgrounds, beliefs, personalities, and motivations, people whose stories we can resonate with. There is diversity in Valisthea, diversity that, whilst not all-encompassing, is synergistic with the setting we've created and is true to the inspirations from which we are drawing. And it's this whole thing is just fucking ridiculous. Like, I sort of don't know where to begin because it's just such a ridiculous answer. At the end of the day, this is a fantasy game. It has fantasy in the title. So as soon as you start saying, oh, it wouldn't be realistic, it's like, it's a fantasy game. You can literally do whatever the fuck you want. The fact that you've got these huge icons, these big summons, these big mythical beasts, you've got magical crystals, magic powers, this complete fantasy realm, and yet everyone's white because in your limited vision for the game, that's what it is. It's just incredibly narrow-minded and really, really disappointing to hear.
And it's also a really uneducated stance because it's like saying that people were like, well, it's medieval Europe, there were no black people. I'm like, your education has failed you if that's what you genuinely think.
Yeah.
But also it's a fantasy thing. So why are they focusing on that very specific detail that they're gonna have no or very, 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 very few, we've not seen any whatsoever, black people in this? Why are they really going down that route? There were just millions of things from medieval Europe that they could copy and incorporate, but they've decided to do this very specifically. It just seems a weird thing to go for, especially when they've been criticized, and especially they know. Surely somebody would have just said, "Oh, there's no diversity in this. Are you going to do that?" It seems like a choice that they wouldn't.
I feel like maybe there might be a sense of unconscious bias here of just naturally that's what they've ended up designing without thinking about it or realizing it. And now that it's out, people are posing this to them. And I think he's now backtracking and trying to come up with a story excuse as opposed to just my unconscious bias did not think about this. It's really ridiculous. And I think when you look at the rest of Square Enix as well, on the one hand, as we talked about last week, you've got Harvestella that has non-binary as a gender option, which is the first time it's been done in a Square Enix game, which is great that you've got this producer there saying, our game is for everyone. We want everyone to feel included, and that's amazing. And then on the other hand, you've got this with like no diversity, which is just really disappointing. And then in the middle, I guess somewhere, or more on the negative side, you've got something like Forspoken, which has a black woman in the lead as the lead character, which you think, wow, this is great. But then it's this like roll call of stereotypes, and you realise that all the writers are white, so they haven't really consulted with black people to come up with an authentic character. So it's kind of like you're trying, but you're not, and they're just not getting it right, and it's really annoying.
I've just looked at the comments and
Don't do that.
oh my god, what kind of people read Eurogamer?
Don't read the comments.
Honestly, like Mario and Luigi have no black friends. Where's the outrage? And then far as I can see, people have a problem and unable to relate characters unless they're the same race, and that's racist. No, it's fucking not. Imbecile. Jesus
not.
Christ.
It's really not. Anyway, so this happened last week in an interview from IGN. I have then written a new piece today where I followed up with some black streamers that I'm sure a lot of you know. So I spoke to Pleasantly Twisted, who's been on this / the old podcast, and Data Dave and Dino Glyph. And I've included some tweets from some other very popular folk as well. So some lovely comments from them about how disappointed they are. Actually, two of them as well brought up Street Fighter 6 and how Street Fighter 6 has got Kimberly, which is this new black character, who immediately people are loving, but that's because Capcom actually consulted with people and came up with a character that feels real and authentic, and that's exactly what Square Enix should be doing with Final Fantasy, and actually thinking, how can we create an authentic character instead of just sort of either ticking a box or not bothering at all. Yeah.
And it just like, and what they need to do, and what the people that have commented on that article, which I'm not looking at again because it's just going to drive me insane, listen to black people, because that's what the comments are like. Even the comments to the tweet about it were all saying, well, this isn't this, they're not saying this, they're not saying this. It's like, literally, it is in the article. They speak to quite a few black streamers about how this is, this isn't right. Listen to them. Listen to what they're saying. Don't listen to us necessarily. Don't listen to whatever they're, yourself, your own brain. Listen to what they're saying. Okay, that is what you need to be listening to. And it literally says it in the article. Read it and understand it. And if you read all that and you think it's not a problem, well, maybe you're racist.
It's also just Square Enix. I mean, Square Enix is showing that they're very narrow-minded in a lot of ways. And there have been other articles about them, even in the last week, where they were saying how, they really need to give their games global appeal in order to start earning enough money, because they're not making enough money, basically, from Square Enix games. And they want their games to have global appeal. Well, maybe have a diverse cast that everyone can relate to in some way. Maybe that might help. And then they also had their financial reports that came out earlier this week. And rather than talking about we're going to make great games, they go on and on about fucking blockchain and NFTs and all this bullshit as if that's going to suddenly make them money. It's like, no, listen to your fans and give people the sorts of games and characters that they want to see and that they can see themselves in. That's like, stop giving us NFT bullshit.
Yeah. As Ray said, Ben, who's in the chat, hey Ben, says,
hi Ben.
They say things like, we're not racist, we want you to focus on the inside, but then the character is really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bust out. Yeah, I mean, just look at...
Hot in a traditional white way.
Yeah. What was it? Cindy from Final Fantasy 15? Sydney. Oh, God.
It's Sid.
Yeah, I remember. But, first time I saw her, I was like, no, this is ridiculous.
But yeah, the article is all done and all live, so you can put a link in chat if you want.
Go and follow this. If you want. Oh, yeah, don't click on the comments, because it's full of trash. Because gamers,
awful. Some more positive news though. On the next tab, So we have some numbers out for from Nintendo, which includes the best-selling games ever in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And this is literally across all games ever in Japan, all consoles, all developers, everything. The number one best-selling game of all time in Japan is now Animal Crossing New Horizons,
Woo!
which has sold 10.45 million copies. And that means that has now overtaken Pokemon Red, Green, and Blue, which was the first Pokemon game, which was number one as the best-selling game ever.
They need to re-release it and then get it back ahead.
Well,
I'd buy it.
So there's a tweet that I've got in the article with 20 games in it. Only 2 of them are not Nintendo. And those 2 are, at number 20, Dragon Quest IX, Sentinels of the Starry Skies, which is Square Enix, but was released for the DS, so still kind of Nintendo. And at 14 is Monster Hunter Freedom 3, which came out on PSP, which shows you how popular Monster Hunter is in Japan. All of the other games are all Nintendo. There are 7 different generations of Pokemon games. It's got Animal Crossing at the top. It's got 6 different Switch games, 6 different DS games.
Maybe this is why they don't put any effort into Pokemon games now, because they're like, well, they'll just sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Because have you seen...
If
anybody's seen the latest Pokemon Scarlet and Violet... Is it Violet Scarlet?
Yep.
The latest gameplay video. It looks quite bad, but everybody's going to buy it. It even has Ed Sheeran. Oh yeah, I'm going to get it as well.
You getting Scarlet?
I want the one with the hot guy with the shape.
No, you have to have Scarlet.
So I'll probably get in Violet
We
then.
can't have the same one.
Can we trade trainers?
No.
Can we trade daddies?
Unfortunately not. So yeah, Helios says 8% of Japan now owns Animal Crossing. 8% of the entire country. That's wild.
Maybe they bought a bunch of them though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Animal Crossing, very popular.
it certainly is. Now they also brought out a weird infographic that shows like what age people are who own a Switch, but it was quite bollocks, wasn't it? Because
the majority of I think it's Nintendo players overall is 20 to 30 players, but then 20 to 30-year-old players. But then there's this weird spike at 22. And it's like, well, why are suddenly there loads of 22-year-olds? Or why do people wait till they're 22 to buy a console? Like, think about it. 22 years ago was the year 2000. So 100% people just don't want to give their date of birth. And so they just typed in naught or whatever.
Oh, that
which
was
would have defaulted naught would have defaulted to 2000, which would make you 22.
Or if 2000 was the default. Maybe it's 11-2000 and you had to adjust it and they just left it on there.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people were born.
Wrong.
I wonder how many people were born on the 1st of January 2000 that filled that in. Yeah, but it's nice to know that some, older folk like me still play Nintendo Switch.
Indeed. Including Pokemon games. Which the Scarlet Violet are out next week, the week after. There are already loads of spoilers, so watch out online. Mute all the words you need to. There are tons of spoilers out about the game. All the starter evolutions are out. Loads of other bits are out. So if you are if you are a fan and you're planning on getting it, then watch out.
I mean, it's a Pokemon game. What are the spoilers?
Well, some people don't want to know what the evolutions are going to be. I don't. Although I'm really worried about Quaxley. Because I think I want to choose Quaxley as my starter, which is the little water duck. And I'm really worried that it's going to end up having some weird evolution.
What was your starter in Arceus?
Arceus?
Yeah.
Arceus. I went for the little fire lizard thing, which I thought was really cute. And then it grew up into this weird looking thing.
You don't even know the name.
And no, because I took it out of my team. I literally didn't like it that much.
Is that the one that became like a surfer type teenager? Wasn't that? Oh, that was the fiery one, wasn't it? Oh no, which was the one that turned into like a moody teenager?
I don't know. There's like a little. It's like a little fire thing with a snout. It's like black, and it it looks like it's farting flames. I chose
That's
that
me
in
earlier.
Oculus. Yeah, that was you. Sword and Shield, I went for the little bunny as well, because I was like, super cute bunny, definitely want that. And then it grew up to be a football playing jock, and not what I wanted.
No. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Cyndaquil, that's the one.
People get so...
Cyndaquil is super cute, and then it evolved into some weird looking thing that I was not into.
I just get a bit weirded out that people love Pokemon, and it's a game that is mediocre.
But it's how I feel about Sonic. Is that it's that nostalgia factor, and you're like, I want to play it because I want to continue the series, but the series is always has flaws, but you kind of just put up with it because it's a Pokemon game. Like, you put up with it because it's a Sonic game.
But how are we still at a point where when they have a battle, it's just one going, it's like, that was okay on the... What are you looking at me like that for? That was okay on the Game Boy when you've got the character near you and it just moves and goes, and then the other one goes, and then they don't actually attack. They're not actually doing these moves. These moves just how they move their body and what kind of...
How many Pokemon games have you bought?
Everyone.
And how many have you not played fully?
I played Arceus to the end. I've played Red, Blue, one of them. I don't know which one. I played Gold, Silver till the end. And then, yeah, Arceus. Because it's just...
You sound just like a Pidgey. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Is that a Generation 2?
You just said you played Red and Blue.
I have slept since then.
Wow.
I know what a Pidgey is. I just don't remember if it was in... Because I thought Meowth was in the first game, but it's in the second, isn't it?
No, Meowth is in the first one.
Is it? I thought it was a Generation... No, Togepi. That's Gen 2, isn't it?
Yes.
There you go. But no, like, can we not just have Pokemon that actually fight?
Right, you need to play Pokemon Stadium.
What have we not? Yeah, that came out on the Nintendo 64. Have they not moved on? Have they not actually like thought, oh yeah, that looked quite good?
No, because they can sell games clearly by the numbers, and they don't have to make changes.
If I want to see like a rock stomp or something, I want them to stand up and like stomp on their head.
Do you want to see Pokemon being killed?
I do. I want to see them. I want, like the, what's it called? What can tell me a Pokemon move? Rock throw, tackle. Yeah, I want them to properly like rugby tackle them to the ground. Disjointed or like pull the shoulder out and.
Swezzle's right. There is a Pokemon fighting game, so you can see them fighting there.
I want to see it fighting in a fucking Pokemon game because that's what they do. You battle them.
What I would like to do is
it's not a fucking card game.
I would like to eat the Pokemon. That's what I would like to do.
Pokemon Snap should have been Pokemon Shoot. Pokemon, what? Not Pokemon. Not that kind of.
Pokemon Shoot.
Pokemon like Safari.
Pokemon Snack. There you go.
Pokemon Snack.
We've got Fido. It is literally a dog made of bread dough. What's it evolve into? Can you bake it? Will it turn into dick bread?
Pokemon Call of the Wild. Is it Call of the Wild, the hunting game? There's the Jigglypuff. It's down. Yeah, we use the blubber to marinate.
Does Lechonk make tasty bacon?
Damn right.
Does Smoliv make lovely... When you squeeze it, you get olive oil out of it?
Yes. And I think that a Lechonk, when you eat the bacon, it crackles in your mouth a bit like candy, the popping candy.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
I'd eat that in a Fido sandwich.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out what could you turn into a nice garnish.
Helios says that Lechonk is fruity as an evolution.
Oh, very. Oh, well, you're... A Bulbasaur salad, yeah. Exactly. Pokemon is food.
There we go.
Right.
Anyway, there are two more very quick stories. One of which is just to highlight a lovely feature in Eurogamer, which is all about the power that consoles use. And our writers have basically put together a table that shows you the different states of like off, rest mode, playing a game, streaming, and how much power it uses and the cost of that. So in terms of the sort of cost of living crisis at the moment, you can literally work out
how much?
You can work out how much
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Overwatch 2 or Cyberpunk. Bloody hell, that costs a lot. 7.54 pence. Is that per hour?
That's a good question.
Because it says watts, but I don't know if that's kilowatt hours. Oh, 1 hour use. Oh, it only costs 8 pence to play Cyberpunk. It claims it costs 7.31 pence to play Overwatch 2, but the amount of microtransactions, it costs way more than that.
That's also true.
Yeah.
The main takeaway, to be honest, is things like rest mode, and it depends which type of rest mode you're in, and if you're downloading anything or not. Genuinely, as much as people will keep things in rest mode in order to do auto downloads, you're definitely better off turning a console off
And unplug it. Otherwise, if your PlayStation is completely turned off and it's plugged in, it will use £1.49 a year. I'm not made of money.
There you go.
What are the comments?
And then lastly, don't read the comments.
Let's
just move on.
I like reading the comments. I'm addicted. I used to do that in Mail
Read them
Online.
later. Monday was N7 day, speaking of Mass Effect. So there's not really much new information, but Mass Effect 5 development is proceeding very well, says BioWare. And they've released a new video, a very short video of what is a mass relay being created. So there might be some little tidbits of information in that.
Oh.
So Mass Effect fans are very happy.
Well, I'll eventually get round to Mass Effect 5 when I finish 2, 3, and 4.
You should do.
What was 4? Andromeda.
Yes.
I liked Andromeda. I finished it. I actually
Same.
finished that game. Yeah. I like my kind of mediocre sci-fi games.
Well, that and Death Stranding, yeah.
How dare. Anyway, that was it for Swapping Joysticks, the podcast. Where can we find Swapping Joysticks, Edward Nightingale?
On swappingjoysticks.com.
Yeah, and
with all the necessary links on your favourite podcasting channels.
What podcast players can we use?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, some others.
Amazon Podcasts?
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, just find out RSS feed. Go to swappingjoysticks.com on your favourite browser, on the internet. Just go to your internet, point it towards this, and then go and follow it.
There you go. And where can people find you, Ben, online?
They can find me at BigusBenus. I'm not verified. I will not pay for Twitter Blue. I wonder if do you know what they should do? They would make money if they allowed you to gift Twitter Blue to somebody.
No.
I would gift it to you.
Don't give me that.
I would gift it to you so you can keep your little verified thing.
No.
And
That's
also,
sweet of you, but no.
And also it would make it look like you wanted to pay Elon Musk money.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want that.
But where can we find you, Ed_Nights?
You can find me at Ed_Nights on
With
Twitch
a K?
and Twitter with an N.
Oh. But there you go. So that is where you can find Ed_Nights. One day he will be official, I'm sure. Or verified or whatever it's called.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thanks all for watching and for listening, and we'll see you all next week. Keep swapping.
Yeah.